1966, due to lack of funding, the Soviets plowed on, or more accurately, down. From 1970 to 1994, the Soviets drill on the Kola Peninsula sprung up the deepest hole in the world. The attempt consisted of several super deep holes branching off one main column. The deepest, called SG3, was just 9 inches wide. Eventually, sinking 7.6 miles into the earth. For contrast, this hole is 4,000 feet deeper than the Mariana Trench, aka the deepest. While geologists and dirt nerds got very excited, more religious citizens were terrified. They believed the hole would reach into hell, releasing an army of demons, or maybe even the devil himself. While they all prayed for protection from the super small demons that could fit through that 9-inch gap, others feared more logical consequences. Some scientists believed that intense drilling at those depths would dislodge so much rock so quickly that it would trigger some unknown seismic forces nobody could control. But turns out there was nothing to worry about. After reaching the 7.6-mile mark, efforts stalled because of the unexpected 356-degree Fahrenheit heat, which was far hotter than scientists predicted it would be. For comparison, if the world was an apple,
I'm just watching this fucking weird video called Experiments That Could Have Ended the World. It's a video called Experiments That Could Have Ended the World for some fucking, I don't know. Like, I need to move this back. Just
assuming he'd be a valuable source of information, the British took him in, but what he eventually revealed terrified them. Vladimir had been the director of the Institute of Ultra-Pure Biological Preparations in Leningrad, because here he learned that the Soviets were developing weapons that used deadly...
I can't see your chat yet. Right now I can't see small text. It hurts my eyes.
These bioweapons were being made in a network of secret laboratories and chemical plants across the Soviet Union, which the Western Allies knew almost nothing about. With all these resources, they were trying to develop new antibiotics
Fuck.
When espionage experts found gut-wrenching proof of the facilities Vladimir had detained. But following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the facilities went to the dark. What's most terrifying of all, though, is that it was never revealed just how big this foreign warfare effort was, or what's happened to it since.
Hey everyone.
Before the anti-vaxxers show up and start spamming the comment section of your mention of COVID, help me fight back by hitting those like and subscribe buttons down below. Don't do it for me, do it for science. And speaking of science, what world-ending experiment have you done in speaking of science?
Shut the fuck up! Okay, now we're getting serious. Kyle, can you send the video link to people? Can you send this video link? Okay, now we're getting serious. Please. Kyle, can now we're getting serious.
Versions of the blights are, it'd likely spread through the rest
Kyle,
of the world.
now we're getting serious.
Nobody knows for sure if the U.S. has ever used
Fucking damn. Fucking damn. What the fuck?
They want to send powerful messages towards potential civilizations in an attempt to provoke a response. Now, all this talk of sending texts to
I want to promote this channel so bad.
Tim hat wearing conspiracy theorist. But on the small chance there are aliens out there, then we could be in big.
I want to promote this channel so
As it
bad.
stands, there's absolutely no regulation of off-world messaging. This means anyone with access to powerful transmitting tech can say anything they want to the stars above. I mean anything, from terrible insults and bomb jokes to declarations of interstellar aliens out there. They might not see the funny side of such threats. If those high-tech UFOs were in fact aliens, then it's clear their weaponry would be well beyond our own, leaving us totally exposed and ripe for the Romans. The Trinity test. On July 16, 1945, the very first nuclear bomb in history was detonated in the U.S. desert. This was the Trinity test. By effort by American and British scientists, create a weapon of mass destruction so devastating it would deter all current and future enemies. But not every scientist was on board with the idea, like Enrico Fermi. This Nobel Prize winning physicist was the creator of the world's first nuclear reactor, so he had a pretty solid understanding of the risks involved on this test. He and several other physicists raised a slight concern that detonating
No.
a 22-kiloton bomb would trigger runaway fusion, a chain reaction that would set all of Earth's atmosphere ablaze. In short,
What do you mean demonetize?
fortunately, the hypothesis was shifted, and the Trinity test went off without a hitch. But when a Nobel Prize winning
What do you mean demonetize?
experiment might destroy the world and you go ahead with it anyway, that's one hell of a gamble. Even though we didn't go out in the radioactive blaze, humanity still didn't understand just how destructive or dangerous nuclear weaponry really was. More than a decade later, nuclear tests were casually being conducted by armies around the world. But their men on the ground weren't given any kind of protection. Scientists continue to test the limits of their new nuclear toys by
I don't need
all
money.
manner of scenarios, like here during 1952's Operation Tumble Snapper. The nuke was suspended 300 feet from the ground on a series of cables and detonated. As the blast was all expanded, the radiating energy superheated and vaporized the cables just ahead of the fireball, giving it those strange-looking spikes at the bottom. Since then, humanity has built more than 13,500 nuclear weapons. Those scientists believe it would only require 100 to completely destroy a single society. Jeez. All those tests might have proven that humanity's smart, but it looks like we just never learned. Man-made black holes. In New York back in 1999, the opening of the brand new relativistic heavy ion collider, or RHIC for short, had the whole world holding its breath. This collider was designed to accelerate the beam of charged particles, building blocks of all matter on Earth, close to the speed of light, which is around 186,000 miles per second, before smashing them together in a controlled environment. These collisions would create miniature fireballs of super dense matter, with temperatures of up to 4 trillion degrees, conditions similar to that of the Big Bang. Obviously, scientists were keen to get this thing going, but then a disturbing revelation took headlines by storm. There was a chance that these collisions could reach such a high density that they would create miniature black holes. In the realm of astrophysics, black holes generate intense gravitational fields that suck in all surrounding matter. Even a black hole the size of an atom would have the mass of Mount Everest, and anything larger than that would be more than capable of tearing up the Earth and consuming it from the inside out. The risk, however, was small. So small that less than 10 years later, another even larger collider was built, aptly called the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland. At 16.6 miles in circumference, particles would make more than 11,000 laps of the circuit in a fraction of time it takes to blink before being smashed together. And this came with even more potential dangers. One theory argued that quarks, a kind of elementary particle, would be triggered by the collision to rearrange and shrink themselves into dense objects called strangelets. By contagion, it would affect everything around them, transforming the Earth into a hyperdense sphere just 330 feet across. That's smaller than a football pitch. Well, last I checked, we're all still alive. But if Geneva or New York disappears in the near future and begins sucking in all nearby countries, we know why. Project Seal. New Zealand is known more for its peace-loving hobbits than it is for weapon innovation. But in 1944, during World War II, this island nation collaborated with the U.S. to create artificial tsunamis, known as Project Seal. Now, New Zealand is no stranger to tsunamis, which are long, high sea waves caused by underwater earthquakes. These massive waves can reach 100 feet high and sweep 10 miles inland, devastating everything in their wake. If they could be artificially created, though, their leaders would be able to strategically wipe out enemy ports, naval bases, and even entire cities. But how do you create a wall of water even a fraction of that size without an earthquake? The answer was trinitrotoluene, more commonly known as the highly explosive chemical TNT. From the seabed to the surface, scientists set off around 3,700 explosions across the South Pacific Ocean, using different amounts of TNT, ranging from a few grams to more than 660 pounds. They experimented with the size of the waves they could create. Eventually, they determined that by detonating
what the fuck was that?
About 10 bombs made up of a gargantuan 2,200 tons of TNT, terrifying man-made tidal wave 40 feet high. The only problem is that the placement of the charges was critical. Even a slight deviation would rob the wave of its momentum. But 6 months later, as Western allies closed in on the end of the war, Project Seal was closed down. Its potential was never fully realized, which was a good thing, considering that if it ever went mainstream, shorelines would no longer be safe for humans. And any power-mad idiot with an explosive device big enough would try to flood the world with and death. Though that didn't stop scientists from
I just fucking heard moaning. I'm fucking not. Oh, that's my other video.
Attack saw the detonation of multiple nuclear warheads underwater, creating gargantuan waves that effortlessly crashed over their ships and quickly swept inland. Fortunately, no country has dared to try recreating Project Seal with nukes yet. Project Volcano. So, we heard about the world-ending possibility of the first nuke and seen the potentially devastating impacts of nuclear detonated tsunamis. But what about underground nukes? Okay, when I say it out loud, it sounds way too dumb to be real. But if we rewind to 1988 and travel over to the Soviet Union, that's exactly what scientists were testing. During this period of the Cold War, Soviet scientists were experimenting with the terrifyingly named tectonic bombs at a site in Kyrgyzstan. Their objective, called Project Mercury, was to develop a way of remotely triggering an earthquake by destabilizing seismic forces using an underground nuclear explosion. If they were successful, this would give them the power to create devastating earthquakes almost anywhere in the world. It would be the ultimate underground weapon. While there's no information about how big the underground blast was, the test was a success and paved the way for the much larger Project Volcano. However, Azerbaijan's independence from the Soviet Union in 1992 brought a halt to the experimentations on its solar. And so, mercifully, the project shut down. The most disturbing part of all, though, was that was hinted. Project Volcano was linked to the Soviet idea of nuking Yellowstone National Park in the USA. Yellowstone is situated on top of a supervolcano, which, if it ever erupted, would be approximately 1,000 times more powerful than a regular volcano. The amount of ash and debris hurled into the atmosphere would blanket most of North America, killing countless plants, people, crushing buildings, blocking roadways, and grounding all air travel. To the Soviets, planting a nuke underground to trigger this mega eruption must have seemed like a surefire way to win the Cold War. But they might not.
Yeah?
Go, yeah, you don't have to fucking door.
Yes, ma'am.